One of the biggest mistakes that I see marketers making is they build an email list and then they let it get cold. And what that basically means is they don't send anything for a very long time and they wonder why no one's opening their email or it's really, really low. So I want to share with you in this video 9 email subject lines that I have used personally and always increase open rates. Hey, before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Also, if you're on YouTube, make sure that you click the little bell icon so you get notified when I go live with a new video. Well, hey guys, my name's Scott Voelker and I'm so glad that you're joining me because today I'm going to share with you 9 subject lines that you can use in your emails to get more opens. And let's face it, when you're building an email list, we want more eyeballs. We want people to see our stuff. But like I said, a lot of people, including myself at times, I've done this, is where we let it get cold. And then we're like, well, what do we send them? And how do we get them re-engaged? So that's what I'm going to cover here in this video. So let's just get right to it. All right. The one thing that I want you to just think about all the time before I get into these 9 different ones, and I want you to also think about how you could create your own subject lines. And I'll give you more or less a fill in the blank, but I want you to think about questions and curiosity. Questions and curiosity. And one little tip here before we do get into these 9 is I want you to also go back to your inbox. What has gotten your attention, whether it's from a friend, a family member, or maybe someone that you're following, or maybe you're on my email list. What got you to want to open that email? Now, I did in a past video, I went over how to get your emails opened more by getting out of the spam traps and all that stuff. I'll link that up in the show notes or in the description here of this show. But I want you to just understand that we need to think about the subject line to get their attention. All right. And it's not always what people think. It doesn't have to be super sexy. It just has to be driven by questions and curiosity. All right. So let's get to it. Number 1, are you still interested in catching more bass? Now, of course, this is if I'm in the bass fishing market. So let's think about that. Are you still interested in catching more bass? Now, I learned this little technique from Dean Jackson, and he calls it the 9-word email. This here is only 8 words. I believe it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 8. So that one there works really well if you're sending to a list you have not communicated with in a very long time, or maybe even just a couple of months, okay? And so what you wanna do is just have that email go out as you're asking a friend, hey, are you still interested in catching more bass? Kind of like, you haven't heard from me, I haven't heard from you. You're just trying to get a pulse on if they're still there. And then inside the email, you can basically just say, hey, I haven't emailed you in a while. I was just checking in. Is there anything you need help on as far as catching more bass? Are you still fishing? Just curious. Drop me an email, let me know. And what we're doing here is we're getting that conversation started. So that's number 1, all right? Ask that question, and I'm telling you, you will get replies. Number 2, and this one here is something, again, that brings up the curiosity thing. So this is very simple. It's short, but to the point, but it also brings up curiosity. Scary times ahead. So again, your market might not lend itself to that, but almost every market has a scary time. And that scary time could be like scary time coming, and it could be ice is going to freeze. We're not going to be able to fish, right? So for fishermen, like that's a scary time, right? So scary times ahead. And then I have in brackets, what to do, right? So scary times ahead, you want to know what that is, but then there's also the answer to what you're going to be able to do inside as well. So you see what we did there? We brought up the scary times ahead. So when anyone sees scary, it gets their attention. And then from there, what to do. All right. Now, number 3, truth about bulletproof coffee, pros and cons. Again, we want to know, what is the truth about bulletproof coffee? Me personally, I love it. I've been drinking it now for a while. It's awesome. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's actually putting butter and MCT oil in your coffee. And it's amazing. But anyway, that's for another show. But yeah, so truth about bulletproof coffee, if you were bulletproof, that would be a great subject line. And then it would be pros and cons. Now, here's the thing. People are going to open the email Okay. And then from there, you're going to be able to see who is still engaged. And as we do this, we're starting to really get a pulse on the market. And then from there, we can adjust and really start that conversation back up with these people. All right. So that's number 3. All right. And whenever you use something like truth or good and bad, it brings up curiosity. Number 4, this is very, very simple. And this is a good rule of thumb to do on any list periodically. Okay. And this is the subject line. Okay. You ready for it? Thank you. And that is it. Just thank you. Okay. A friend would email you and just say something like that. And you'd be like, oh, it's Scott emailing me. I wonder what they're thanking me for. Right. And then inside it might be like, hey, John, I just wanted to send you a quick email and say, thanks for being one of our Bass Fishing Fanatic subscribers. And I just wanted to say thank you because this has been an awesome year. The community has been building and it's just been so awesome to be able to connect with you and so many others in our community. So I just want to say thank you. And then PS, if you have any questions or something I can help you with, let me know. So you see what's happening here? All we're doing is we're showing up as someone in the market that is adding value. We're building goodwill, all right? And we're getting that conversation started. The other thing is here, and here's a little pro tip, all right? Once you do stuff like this, you don't have a lot of links going in it, right? So it doesn't get flagged by spam and it doesn't look to Google or Gmail or Yahoo or any of the other providers. It doesn't look like a sales email or a marketing email. And what happens is once it gets delivered to the inbox, from there, they open it. So that shows them that they're opening it. And if they reply, they see that as well. So this here will help you get out of the promotions tab or the bulk folder or the spam folder, whatever one you're using that has those different types of folders. So again, think about that. All right. All right. Number 5. Here's another good one. It's literally 2 words. Ready? Need help? That's it. I know it seems so simple, but it's so effective. And I've sent a ton of email. I'm talking millions of emails over the past 20 years. And these are always my go-to. These are 9 subject lines that I just take, I reshape them, I reuse them. So definitely make sure that you do. And I believe that if you do, you will start to see your open rates go up. All right. Now, number 6, struggling catching bass, and then top 10 tips to try. Let me try that again. All right. Struggling to catch bass. Then from there, brackets, top 10 tips to try. Right. So if you are struggling, you're wondering, okay, yeah, I am struggling. What are these 10 tips? Or if you're not struggling, but you don't realize you're struggling, then you're like, am I struggling? And then from there, you're like, I better look at those 10 tips. See? So that's it. Struggling catching bass. So I think I did struggling to catch bass or struggling catching bass. Either one works. Okay. It's a question. Remember how I talked about in the beginning about asking questions? That's exactly what we're doing here. And then we're putting the solution in there as well. Top 10 tips to try. Okay. So that's number 6. Number 7, surprise inside. This changes the game in brackets. All right. So think about that. Surprise inside. And I used this one here about 2 months ago, and my open rates were through the roof because everyone wants to know about a surprise. And then from there, I also added in brackets, lowercase. This changes the game. It's something that you would maybe say to your friend or send an email to your friend. I got a surprise for you inside. And then in brackets, this totally changes the game, right? So I want you to think about the person that you're connecting with. I want you to pick one person out of your market and make them your avatar. That's the person that you're writing to every single time. All right. So that's number 7. Number 8, what bait to avoid in 2020? 5 types. And then in brackets, 5 types. I do a lot of little brackets just to kind of break it up, but it also brings the eye to it, right? So again, here we go. What bait to avoid in 2020? You want to know what bait should I avoid, right? Like I don't want to use a certain bait that supposedly is not good or doesn't work, right? I want to skip that. All right. And then I have in there 5 types. So I want to know those 5 types. Okay. So that's another curiosity-based one. And then number 9 is 5 tips to catch more bass. That's it. Pretty simple. But here's where it gets interesting. Brackets again. Tip 3 is my favorite. I want to know what that tip is. Don't you want to know what that tip is? I got the tip. You got to open email to get the tip, right? So that's all we're doing. We're getting the email delivered. We're adding curiosity. We're adding a question maybe, and we're adding the solution is inside. And then you just have to click to get in. And as you do this, I'm not selling at this point really. And even if I was selling, they're going to be okay with it because I'm building the relationship over time. All right. So again, number 9, 5 tips to catch more bass. Tip 3 is my favorite. So that's it. It's very simple. So what I want you to do, I want you to pick your favorite out of all of those. Which one are you going to try in your next email? Drop it in the comments down below. Let me know. I'd love to know how it works out for you. Come back, report on this, follow up. And if you have a question or if you have a subject line that you've used that worked really well, let's help each other. Drop it in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. And also, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so. We got a lot of great stuff planned, and we're here to help brand creators go out there and build amazing future-proof businesses. All right, guys, that's it. Take care. And as always, take action. I'll talk to you soon.